This is one of those places that I like to ride to on my bike. And whenever I come to a place like this, if I didn't bring my fishing gear, if I didn't think to, I usually wish I had. So I decided that I would put this in my tank bag. Actually, I decided I would put a compact fishing kit in my tank bag, and then I remembered this. So this is a survival fishing kit, military, made in March of 1993. Fishing kit survival, Mil F6218 Charlie. And my buddy Jeff gave this to me a while back. Jeff made a full-time career of the National Guard and retired within the past year. And he's given me a lot of cool little military type trinkets like this over the years. And this one, as you can see, is still sealed, still in the sealed packaging, as it has been for the past close to 30 years. But it's time for it to no longer be in that. I don't even know what's in it, but for sure. But we're going to find out, because I'm basically a pragmatist, and I'm not much of a collector when it comes to not using something. I like, you know, good old stuff like this, but I like to use it. I like to make use of it as something something functional. I get a kick out of doing that rather than just collecting it. So let's open it. Good old 1993 air. Air from the last century. Okay, so let's see. We'll put it on the, let me see, let me move this to where I can see it and get around on the other side here so I can see what I'm doing. And so it's got some OD duct tape wrapped around it, sealing it. We're going to break that too. We are going to open it and see what is in it. Now I might kind of sort of seal it back up. I don't know. I might not even end up using it. Or I might. Well, let me rephrase that. I originally planned to put together a little fishing kit, and I'll probably do that, and the one I put together might end up being more functional, or more well suited to my needs anyway, than this is. But this is definitely worth looking at and see what the U.S. military deemed to be good things to put in a kit like this. Besides that, you got to know exactly what's in it, you know, so you can know what's missing. You can know what it'll do for you, and maybe add some stuff that's missing. Okay, so it's open. It says fishing instructions for fishing under survival conditions. Read carefully. Okay. It's got, I guess that's, I don't know. No, that's just a paper pad, I guess, to keep it from abrading. So here we've got some lightweight monofilament. And here we've got some heavier weight monofilament. And we've got some safety pins, which are getting a little bit corroded. I don't know. I think having more than one or two safety pins is probably unnecessary weight, so I wouldn't put that in there personally. Now here we've got a spoon, large spoon, with a large hook on it. There we go. And it looks like it's rusted on the tip. Yep, sure is. Here we go. Now this is a more usable spoon. I guess that large spoon will be good in a saltwater type environment where the fish are likely to be large, but where I fish, something like this is better. Here are a couple of treble hooks, and I tell you what those are good for, besides the fact that you can load them up with whatever bait you can find, and maybe catch some big catfish or whatever. But you can also drag that around when there are a bunch of fish, brim or whatever. You can, it's illegal, but you can snag fish with that, with a treble hook like that, if you can't get them to bite. Now there are various leaders. And snap attachments. Now there's a nice red and white spoon with a treble hook on it. Looks like that would be good for catching some bass. Pretty good size. Here we go. Here's some sinkers and a variety of sizes of hooks. And here are some large hooks. And lastly, we've got a single-edged razor blade, which is probably rusty beyond use, but oh well. Oh, and one last thing I didn't mention. Stuck to inside the tin is a label showing knots, and you know, just showing you how to tie hooks and whatnot onto your line. So pretty cool. Not exactly what I would put together for a fishing kit, but because it's got stuff in it that I normally wouldn't need. I mean, I understand they want it to be usable in a variety of environments, but for my purposes, I wouldn't need any of the larger hooks, and probably wouldn't need any of those safety pins either. Although, you know, it might be good to have some of the safety pins, but not in my fishing kit. But there it is. So yeah, I'll definitely be putting together my own fishing kit, and I've probably got everything I need in my tackle box already to make a little portable kit. So I need to do that and put it in my tank bag, and so that it can just live in there. Now for fishing with a little portable kit like that, it's not 100% necessary to have a pole, but it's helpful. And This is a little beat up little crepe myrtle, which are pretty much weed trees around here anyway. And also this one has been cut before and it's growing back. They're pretty hardy. So I'm going to cut a switch off of that. And you know, it's good that it's still alive, because that gives it flexibility. Let me see. Yeah. That's my Swiss champ. Now something's good that's good to do with a pole like this is to, when you start, tie your line around the butt end or near the butt end of your pole and take a turn around it about midway and then tie it to the end. That way if the pole were to break, you wouldn't lose, you know, obviously it's only going to break if there's a fish on it, or, well, maybe if you snag something, but either way, you don't lose your fishing gear, your lure and our bait and hook and line and so on. You don't lose that stuff. So I'll just kind of, that's not a perfect knot, but I just tied an overhand loop and bring it down here, take a turn around it, Alright, now what I'm going to do at the end, I just took a few turns around it on the way down to the end, and now I'm going to just run it underneath. There we go. Now I won't pull off all the line, I'll just make it however long, maybe a little bit longer than the pole. And once again, my Swiss champ, and I could use the knife blade, but I'm going to use the scissors instead. Either one would work for cutting line, but the scissors seem to be the better tool for the job. Here's something I didn't even notice when I was looking at the contents of the kit. There's a pack of needles completely ruined from rust. I mean, you know, if I had to use them, I'd try to use them, but it's I think it's probably best to toss those. So in the leader bag, I found some of these swivels with a snap attachment, and I like those snap attachments. I've been using those for years because it makes it easier to put the you know, to put a hook on it, and or a lure or change it out from one to the other. And also for years I've been using this, since I was a kid in fact, I've been using this type of knot. And so what you do is you come back a little ways and bend it double like that. And you got to make it a lot smaller to go through the eye of a small hook. But on one of these swivels it's easy to do because the hole is larger. And so you push the loop through like that and go overhand, making sure that that you get both sections of the line, and just tie an overhand knot, and then so it's dangling inside the loop, and or dangling inside the knot I should say, and because the loop is right here, I don't know how well you can see that, but and you take your hook or swivel or whatever and pull it through the loop. I tell you what, it can be tedious, but you pull it through, and then pull it tight, like so, and make sure it's going to hold. And then you can cut this dead end off. I'm not going to bother looking for any bait right now. I'm just going to see if I can get a strike on a spoon. And I believe it was the late great Charlie Ritchie. And rest in peace, by the way. Charlie, you know, he did a lot for all of us who like this kind of lifestyle. But I believe it was Charlie who said that that if you could only have one lure, that just a plain old shiny spoon would be the best one. Now, I've always kind of leaned towards a jig, because I've had really good luck with jigs. But I believe, like I said, I believe it was Charlie who said that a spoon was a great lure, all-around lure. And so we're going to try that today. See if I can get anything to strike it. Probably nothing's going to strike because the fish know I'm here now. By the way, I see something swimming over there, but I think it might be a snake. Either way, we're going to drop this spoon off that little shelf there and see if we can get a strike on it. And the way to do with this is, now with a spoon, it's best to use it with a rod and reel. And that's one of the reasons that I like a jig, because a spoon works best, in my opinion, if you cast it out there, let it sink, and then retrieve it. But a jig works really well doing what I'm about to do, which is drop it, let it sink, and then start jigging it up and down, and then pull it towards the bank. And a lot of times you'll get a strike that way. So yeah, my homebrew fishing kit will definitely have some jigs in it. At least a couple of them. I also like flies with tiny little treble hooks. The fish are checking it out. I think one of them made a short pass at it. Yeah, I just saw one approaching it. think there are some holes up under there, and fish like to hide in holes like that. And so a lot of times if you can dangle something like this in front of their nose, they'll come out of their hole and grab it. Did you hear that owl? I don't know if the camera audio caught it or not. There it goes again. I think maybe I need to go around there to that point. Right there. And drop it on the other side of it and see if I can entice something to grab it. I'm going to pause the camera for now because I'm not going to take it over there with me. Too much chance of dropping it in the water. But I'll just go take a look at it and see if I can get anything to bite. And whether I do or not, I'll be right back. Yeah, there's no way I could have got over there without with the camera, without dropping the camera in the water or even falling in the water. There's something over there moving, by the way. Let me see. Something swimming. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. I don't know. It's a lot harder to find in the camera. So, problem is it's hard to see where I guess right there is where the water begins and the image ends. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there's something. I don't know. That might just be the current flowing past something. Flowing past some sticks or whatever. But anyway. Now there goes something. No, that's drifting. I did find something potentially useful though. This is wait a minute, let me get on it. Okay, that's one of those baskets that the guys who deliver bread to the grocery stores use. And that might be useful. It was just on the bank up against a tree root over there. So how about that? I used the saw of my Swiss Champ to saw through some of these pieces so I could push it over the riser part of my my suckle rack. I'll probably need to add a couple of hose clamps to that or something, and I don't want to leave it on there all the time anyway, but that'll be useful for getting firewood or whatever. By the way, there's my new tire I just put on it. Shinko 241. The original wasn't worn out, but by any means, with only 800 miles on it. But this is a better tire, and I put the original from this one, original front, on a 2007 TW200 I just got that have worn out tires. I also bought a new rear tire for it and a new chain and set of sprockets, so I'll probably be featuring that one pretty soon. I got it cheap, and it's fully rideable.